Okay, thank God that I can finally record because I was trying to record me singing a song, but my camera was like bye bye, so that's why I decided to just record this instead because I think it's because of my microphone. Like sometimes when I use my microphone, my camera works, sometimes not. So I don't know. Anyway, today it just decided not to work. I recorded one song that I wrote. Maybe I'm gonna post it. I don't know. But this video is not about that, or like kinda about that. Anyway, I'm too lazy to take away my guitar, and I think it gives me a little bit of aura when I sit with it. Maybe if I remove the cable. Anyway, the point of this video is that I want to talk about gross, disturbing art, that kind of stuff. Because I feel like it's not talked about enough sometimes. I feel like a lot of people they have this view on like gross and disturbing art, and they just don't want to understand it really. So I'm gonna try to talk about it and why. Like I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but just listen, okay? So I myself oftentimes draw and write kind of disturbing stuff. I'm not trying to be edgy, but like overall, when I was growing up, my entire life, I was kind of on more like the like edgier side. You know, when I was a kid, I used to draw very edgy, horrific drawings in the school that my teachers called up my parents and told them like, oh well, your kid is drawing kind of odd stuff, so like you should check it out because I don't know, I used to draw like kind of odd stuff like murderers. Now I remember one time in school we had to draw like a room and we had to like come up with what's in the room, like creativity. And I drew a room and I drew like a bunch of like dead bodies in there and like skins, that kind of shit, and like a murderer person, like a bunny murderer or something like that. Because I was kind of inspired by FNAF and with like creepypasta, like kind of just mash it up, like Jeff the Killer X FNAF kind of thing. I don't know, but my teacher thought it was really disturbing. So yeah, but I think that sums up me as a person because I always used to draw something like that. I used to always draw all these kind of like, disturbing things. When I was a kid, I loved to draw comics and I loved to draw like pictures, everything, but all of them were kind of disturbing. There was always some kind of like fight or blood or that kind of stuff, and everyone always told me that I'm drawing scary things, that I shouldn't draw this kind of stuff because it's scary, and I should draw something positive. But I never really understood why, because I thought like in my head I thought that like I mean, I understand that this kind of stuff is maybe not really okay to draw all the time, but look, because the point of art is not to be like just beautiful. The point of art is not just please your eyes and just to be pretty and hang up on your wall. The point of art is to like show your thoughts and to show something that you see and something that like maybe other people don't notice. And I'm not saying that I'm like this edgy person that only sees the darkness in the world. I'm just saying that artists should be free and you should not push your like ideas of what art should be onto other people. And I see a lot of other people like artists who draw disturbing things and their art gets just turned into some kind of like fucking like a legend, like scary legend. Like, there's one artist, like Japanese artist, this woman who draws disturbing pictures. There's this one artwork, you have probably seen it. It's like this like woman, like a very tall picture of like a woman, very disturbing, and it's always followed up with this like disturbing poem about like I don't remember about what exactly, but like a poem, and people say it's like it's cursed, and if you read the poem and look at the picture, something's gonna happen. But like the woman, I watched some video about this like artist, and in reality, this woman is kind of depicting like the struggles of women, the struggles of shame that women get put on, like for their sexuality, for everything, and she shows it through this disturbing artwork, like how she feels about it, and how other women feel about the way they're treated and all that, and like because yeah. And I just hate the way this like very like important artwork gets turned into like legends. I'm sorry that I stutter so much. I haven't recorded in a while, so I don't know what to say even. But yeah, you get my point. Her artwork should not be something like scary, something that you look at and be like, oh my god, I'm gonna get cursed. Her artwork should be about like you look at it and you understand the way women feel and the way they're treated in society and how it's like wrong and that kind of shit. Like the point of disturbing art is not to just scare you. The point of disturbing art is to show you something, to make you emotional. Like again, I drew. You see there in the background a drawing that I made. It's like it's a drawing about. It's a painting about a war. The way I view war, because I'm very anti-war. I'm anti-violence, all that shit. So I decided to draw something that really shows my view on it. This artwork has a lot to do with the Russian-Ukrainian war, the way, because I have family from both sides, and this war obviously affected me in a lot of ways, and I have a lot of opinions about it. So I tried to show it through this art, and I had some people tell me that this drawing is like scary and disturbing because there is like a man shooting dogs, but the point of the artwork is to show that dogs are just innocent people, innocent society, innocent everything, getting just murdered by like this merciless rotting corpse of a country. That is, yeah. I'm not gonna explain fully because I don't have the time for that. But you understand the point of my painting is not to scare you, and it's not to just be like disturbing for no reason. The point is to show you that war is bad. The point is to show you the way I see it, the way I see that like the dogs, like they're innocent, they're pure, they're little, they can't fight against it. They shouldn't be forced to be in this war, and they shouldn't be forced to be dragged into it, and this rotting corpse of a person is like forcing them to be in it. They're forcing, like they're shooting them, they're forcing them to go back to this like awful everything. And then I also drew a little church in the background, and like everyone's going to this church to show that like society is kind of just ignoring the how we can actually stop the war, instead just try to pray it away, which doesn't really work. um, so that's the point. Again, the point is not to just like scare you or disturb you. The point is to show you something that I otherwise would not be able to explain really. And same thing with like a lot of my paintings, a lot of my work. Like I wrote this, I nearly finished this book that is kind of disturbing. Like there's a lot of parts that's kind of disturbing. I'll probably never publish it because it's like I don't think people will understand it really well, because I'm sorry, I'm sorry, there's just like something on my shelf. I'm gonna look at it later. But yeah, but it makes me sad that a lot of my paintings, a lot of my like poems, and the book that I'm writing, I can't publish or show to anyone because people will not understand, because people will think that it's just edgy for being edgy. Um, like a lot of times when I like try to show someone what I drew or like what I wrote, they just ask me like, "Are you okay? Like, why are you writing such disturbing things?" It's like I'm okay, like dude. I'm just trying to tell you something. I'm just trying to, I'm alright. You don't have to be worried about me. But yeah, I think you get what I mean. Disturbing art should have a place in our society without being constantly criticized for being disturbing and scary. We're grown people, and we should be able to look at disturbing art and actually understand it, and not act like children and get you scared and come up with a bunch of like legends surrounding it. I think it's really childish of grown ass adults who can't handle like just a little bit of blood in a painting. Real, I think it's so like childish when a grown ass adult looks at a painting that clearly tries to tell you something, and they just go like, "Oh my god, that's so spooky! I'm gonna get cursed if I look at it." Like, bro, oh my god, why you act like a child? Please grow up. Um, yeah, that's kind of all I'm trying to say, is that disturbing artwork is not to just scare you. It's to actually tell you something, and instead of like looking at something like scary and getting all scared and thinking that you're getting cursed, you should actually look into like the artist who drew it and try to understand their thought process and try to understand what the painting is trying to tell you. Because again, a lot of the times the disturbing painting is not to scare you, it's to tell you something. Because art is not to just be like pleasing to look at. Art is about protest. Art is about telling something, capturing a moment. Even the disturbing moments. Like again, art is not art is a lot deeper than just looking good. That's all I'm trying to say. And I think a lot of artists already understand it. I think it's just the general public who don't really understand it, because to them when they think of art, they think of like, oh, art, like Picasso, and beautiful, pretty, that I can look at and enjoy, which art is not, because art has always been something that tells you a story, or tells you an opinion, or tells you like anything about the world, and it's not necessarily pretty or beautiful. It can be ugly, it can be disturbing, it can be um, maybe something not usual. I think also that's why a lot of people don't like contemporary art or modern art, because they just don't understand it. They don't understand why an artist would maybe, instead of painting something, use, like, I don't know, trash to build something, because they don't look into it. Like, for example, this one artwork by this like artist who like had a bunch of like candy, like, I think it was candy, like in a pile, to represent it was I'm sorry, I'm so bad at remembering, but it was to represent like AIDS crisis, and it represent that because his partner died of AIDS. But people did not understand it. People just thought, oh, it's just a bunch of candy, like a pile with, like, what the fuck is that? Like, dude, look into it and try to understand it. Art is about, trying to think and understand the artist and seeing things from different perspectives. It doesn't have to be just like a painting. It doesn't have to be something, normal. It can be like, it can be anything. So yeah, I think if you really want to get into art and if you want to understand art, then you have to be hella open-minded. You have to understand that different people view the world differently. What like the way they want to show it can be different. Like, one person might want to paint a painting, another person might want to, I don't know, glue a bunch of something together to create like a statue or something, and that's completely fine. You shouldn't like go around to hate on it and and say like, oh, I could have done better, or like some shit like that. I really hate that, because those kind of people, they don't understand the point of art. Art does not have to be hard, and art does not have to be just paintings, and art does not have to be beautiful. Art is about your perspective. Art is about what thought you put into it, and that's why AI will never be art, because AI cannot put a thought into it. AI cannot come up with something new. AI does not have a perspective. It's only a human being that can do that. And it doesn't matter if it's ugly, disturbing, whatever, as long as it came from the heart and something that you want to tell world, that is art. So yeah, that's it. That's my rant about art. Have a nice day. And by the way, I don't have braces anymore, so how beautiful.